Hello, friends. Let's discuss current affairs. In today's set of questions, we have the first one related to the Far East. The Washington Declaration was in news recently, and this was signed between the United States and South Korea. As you can see there, this is South Korea. There's a Korean peninsula. It's like the finger pointed at the southern end of Japan, and this South Korea is a democracy. This is a democracy. I will not focus more on. I will not focus on leaders. I will more importantly look at what the politics is. South Korea is a democratic country. Okay, it's a democratic country, whereas its antagonist is this country called North Korea, which is a communist country, a communist single party state, which is a dictatorship here. So North Korea, to be precise, is a single party state. You could call it a single party dictatorial state or a dictatorship. Now, the communism here allows for only one political party, that is a workers' party. The ruling party in North Korea is called the Workers' Party. Okay, the leader of the Workers' Party, as you all know, is Kim Jong Un. Though I'm not greatly focused on the leaders here, North Korea historically has been ruled by the Kim family. So I'll bring in some basic aspects here. From 1945 till date, it has been ruled by the Kim family. Kim family. So today, you know, there is a guy called Kim Jong Un. Though I have not, I mentioned that I will not focus on the leaders. I'm not going to. I just wanted to become familiar. His father was a guy called Kim Jong Il. Okay, and you could also call him Il Jong. No harm. I mean, some books mentioned this way. And then the grandfather was this guy called Kim Il Sung. This chap ruled for a long time. You could say in 45, 48 to 2000. Sorry, to 1994. And from this guy from 1994 to 2011. And this guy has been running the show since 2011. Okay, so the Kim family effectively has run this country like a personal enterprise. North Korea, though a communist country, does not have a kind of an economy that is hallmark of a lot of communist countries in the world. If you look at Cuba, you look at Vietnam, both of these countries have pretty robust health systems. But considering that those are more of party oriented, unlike North Korea, which is family oriented, North Korea has not done well because of its obsession, the power obsession, the Kim family's power obsession. So they always had this, against South Korea, that South Korea went to the United States way. Between 1950 and 53, there was a Korean War, the Korean War. In this war, which ended in more or less a stalemate, I mean, no one won the war actually. North Korea was supported by the USSR in those days and China, whereas the South was supported by the United States. This war went on for three years. Sometimes the North had the upper hand. Sometimes it was the South that actually defeated North in large parts. And at one point the North lost so badly that actually the Chinese had to step in, and things went south for South Korea in those days. But anyway, 53 the war ended, and ever since then these two countries have been at war, technically at war, because no end to this war has been signed. Though there has been a ceasefire, there has been no end. I mean, the two countries are still at war, technically still at war. Okay, now the boundary line that separates these two countries is called the DMZ, or what is called the 38th parallel. Parallel would mean latitude, 38 degrees north latitude, also called the DMZ, demilitarized zone. So the South is supported by United States. As you know, South is a democracy. There's a multi-party system in place which is strongly supported militarily, diplomatically, and in the beginning economically by the United States. But North went the communist way. Consequently, it was supported by the USSR and China. So North believes the North, ruled by the Kim family, believes that the West is out to get it. That is, it wants to destroy North Korea. But then that's the reason why they are testing so many nuclear devices. They have tested nuclear bombs in the past. They have, they keep on launching these missiles that can reach every part of the United States. Today, practically even the east coast of the United States, which is very far from where North Korea is, can reach, is within the reach of the North Korean missiles. So the North Koreans have always been anti-Japan because it's pro-US, anti-South Korea because that's also pro-US, and enemy is always a friend. North Korea's enemy is Japan, North Korea's enemy is South Korea. Consequently, these two have also brought in the US into the play, which means that all three are sworn enemies of the North. Of the North means North Korea. Japan, some other time I'll tell you the story why Japan is so why the two Koreas even today believe that Japan is a main enemy, is a major enemy. Some other time. Okay. So the US and South Korea have signed this deal to make sure that not only they engage in regular military exercises, but also make sure that the North Koreans do not resort to any sort of adventurism by attacking the South. So to that end, since 1953, the end of the Korean War, technically no end, but between 1953 and date, North Korea is home to thousands of American soldiers. About 24,000 American soldiers are still stationed in South Korea. Still there. So North and South Korea don't see eye to eye. There's no love lost. As they said, no love lost means they don't have a happy relationship. They don't have any love between themselves. Yeah. It's a very dangerous place, my friends. So this is Japan. You can see it's a very large island country. In fact, there are more than 6,000 islands that make Japan. These are the four major ones, Shikoku, Hokkaido, Honshu, and Kyushu. This is Honshu, the biggest island. The biggest island is called Honshu. Yeah. Fair, I guess that should be it. The CERN is working to build the world's most powerful particle collider called the Future Circular Collider, a possible successor to the Large Hadron Collider. Where is CERN located? It's in Geneva, Switzerland. This is where on the border between France and Switzerland. Okay, this is the main set of offices. Of course, around it you find the LHC. LHC is about 27 kilometers around. It's a circle basically. And I wanted to write this before we discuss that statue of Bhagwan Shiv in Nataraja pose. CERN, which is French full name, but let's take the English full name. European Organization for Nuclear Research. Nuclear research. Nuclear research. Next point. Operates, I'm giving you notes. Operates the world's largest particle physics laboratory or lab. Next, established 1954, so it's not today's creation. 1954. Next, 23 members. 23 members. Dash. Israel is the only non-European member. Israel, Israel, Israel is the only non-European member. Okay. Now you see this. This is a statue of Bhagwan Shiva in the Nataraja pose, and in the Nataraja pose, this is on the campus of CERN, my friends. Okay. You know, this statue in the Nataraja pose, it defines both creation and destruction. This is a statue on the campus of CER in CERN, and this defines the pose. Basically, Nataraja, dancing Shiva, Bhagwan Shiva, in its Nataraja form, relates to both creation and destruction. Creation and destruction. That is so integral to all that is around us, my friends. Both creation and destruction. This is a statue gifted by the Department of Atomic Energy, Government of India. It's there on the campus. It's amazing, isn't it? I think the only place where you find Bhagwan Shiva in his Nataraja pose is in Chidambaram. The only temple where you would find this is in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. Okay, there we go. I've always been fascinated with science, especially physics, and it's fun to learn. Which institutions are part of the big catch-up and initiative to vaccinate millions of our children and restore immunization progress lost during the pandemic? During the pandemic, except for the COVID thing, no one was focused on any other vaccine. In fact, there was not much that people could do to vaccinate the children against those diseases like polio, diphtheria, whooping cough, there are measles, plenty of problems, especially in poorer countries. So now these four have come together, and they are now they have launched what is called the big catch up. Let's catch up, with the past, technically with the past, but not in a negative sense, positive sense, in the sense that whatever we missed out, whatever the children around the world missed out in terms of vaccination, let's get back to getting them vaccinated. Yeah. You know what is Gavi, isn't it? In the past, Gavi had a full name. Now it doesn't use a full name. It calls it a Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. But in the past, it was called Gavi, which is Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. Global Alliance for Vaccinations or Vaccines and Immunization. Immunization is mentioned there. Bill and Melinda Gates is a foundation run by the former couple, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. Now they are separated, divorced, of course, but they still run this foundation together. WHO is a World Health Organization, which is headquartered in Geneva and is run by a man called Dr. Tedros Adhanom. Okay. UNICEF is United Nations Children's Fund. In the past, the full name was United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Now they call themselves the UN Children's Fund. UN Children's Fund. And this is headquartered in New York City. It's run by Catherine Russell, a US citizen. Catherine Russell. Okay, there we go. Sberbank has released GigaChat, an artificial intelligence chatbot rivals ChatGPT. Sberbank is the largest financial institution of Russia. See, this is Russia, my friends. It's so large, It's the world's largest country, and its area is 1.7 crore square kilometers. 1.7 crore square kilometers. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be 5 times bigger than India's area of 32 lakh square kilometers. China is third, 96 lakh square kilometers. Okay, United States is fourth, and the second is Canada. Second is Canada, but it's not mentioned, so we'll skip it. Sberbank, you want to write about Sberbank, please write. Head office in Moscow. This is where you have Moscow here. And the CEO is Hermann Greff. Hermann Greff. Often when we look at the map, we see the flat map like this. So our understanding of the world is slightly different from, especially geographical understanding is quite different. Now most of us look at it this way, okay, France is so far, but if you look at Russia, for example, if you look at Moscow, in the flat map it appears very far, but if you look at this map, it's quite close to where India is. You understand it? Yeah, because the earth narrows at the top. As it goes up, it narrows. So, this is Greenland. And if you look at Toronto in Canada, the fastest route to reach Toronto from Moscow is over the North Pole. Because at the North Pole, the earth becomes narrow, so you have to cover a shorter distance. Yeah, a lot of planes between these places, they fly over the North Pole. It's a shorter distance. Okay. That's Russia, my friends, Sberbank. And what is GPT? GPT, we have often heard of this in both these places. See, GPT is mentioned. Generative pre-trained transformer. Pre-trained transformer. Okay. Now, who developed this? Originally, it was developed by, I'm talking of ChatGPT. It was developed by a company called, what is it? OpenAI. I'm so sorry. OpenAI. Open Artificial Intelligence, which is led by a man called Sam Altman. So the main technology, this Open ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI, was is run by Sam Altman. He is the CEO of OpenAI. And if you want to know, it's headquartered in San Francisco. San Francisco. San Francisco. Okay. Let me take you further on this. Just let me make you familiar with things. This is Belgium here. Next, just below Netherlands. This is Netherlands. So this is Belgium. This is Belgium. Okay. Germany. This is Germany. Pretty large country here. Norway. You can see it here. And Sweden, its neighbor. Okay. Now you see this Arctic Circle. This area is Arctic. The word Arctic comes from Arkotos, which means Bhalu. Which means Bhalu. The Greeks believed that these are the people of Greens. Okay. They believed that over this region you have the Great Bear constellation. What is it? Great Bear, Bhalu constellation. So they called it Arkotos. This region was called Arkotos, which means Arctic. Opposite of Arctic is Antarctic. Anti-Arctic is Antarctic. Okay. There's a lot to learn, my friends. So much fun to have if we learn. Okay. Just to bring you in capitals, Belgium, Brussels, though we discussed a lot of things about this. Brussels, Germany, Berlin, Norway, Oslo, Sweden, Stockholm. Under which article of the Constitution of India did the Supreme Court of India recently rule that it can grant divorce to couples on the ground of irretrievable breakdown of marriage means irretrievable, means that which cannot be rescued. I mean, it's damage beyond repair, that kind of thing. Okay, so under Article 142. Now, usually divorce happens through either mutual consent or through, you know, a decree of the court, and that will come only after, see, where one person seeks divorce, the other does not seek divorce. Sometimes both seek divorce, but in a very acrimonious, bitter way. So usually mutual consent, amiable, is very few. Very rarely do couples separate on their own, thinking that okay, this is not working out. This is not working out, so we better be happy without each other. But very few will understand that. Okay, because a lot of relationships go bad because of the ego issue. I am better than you. I earn this much. What are you doing? You are not giving me enough money to maintain my lifestyle. You know, whatever, it could be a man or a woman, does not matter. But these are the tussles actually. I'm restricting myself to the couple, not the external factors. Now there are a lot of factors, like, usually the Supreme Court has now said rather that it would grant divorce in two cases. If one, there is mutual consent, and that is two, if one partner seeks divorce while the other opposes. Now, under the Hindu Marriage Act (HMA), a 6-month cooling off period is given. That is, before the couple file for divorce, there is counseling, and the court says, okay guys, why don't you take 6 months off? 6 months off. Let the anger subside, maybe with a cool, mind, sit down, thrash it out, sort out the differences, all that stuff. 6 months. But in case even that, see, now the Supreme Court under this Article 142 has said is, we can waive that off. If the court believes that there has been an irretrievable breakdown of marriage, the 6-month period is gone. That can be waived off. Second thing, today, under current circumstances, a mutual consent divorce, both parties are happy, in the sense that they are okay with each other's decision to divorce. So A and B, okay, they can file a mutual consent divorce petition only after a year of their separation. That is, if they have separated, 1 year has to pass. Okay, 1 year has to pass, and then the court says you can file a mutual consent divorce petition. Okay, this is when there is mutual consent. But in the case of acrimonies, bitter things, 6-month cooling off period is given. Now the court says both are okay, we can do away with this. We believe it's irretrievable, things cannot be worked out, things cannot be patched up between the couple, let them live separately. So we'll grant a divorce. That's what the court says. The Supreme Court has given itself this power. Of course, it has this power under Article 142. Okay, so no 6-month cooling off period, and waiver of that 1 month separation clause. 1 year separation clause. Which country's High Commission in India announced grants of the project Return to Roots in Kargil of Ladakh? See, this is Kargil. This is the second largest city in Ladakh. The Union Territory of Ladakh has the capital Leh. Okay, but there is something more. Kargil is the joint capital of Ladakh. I never knew this, my friends. Still, I recently read this. Joint capital of Ladakh. What is the other one? Joint capital with Leh. Leh is the main capital, that's what we know. But I've come to know that Kargil is also the second capital of the joint capital of Ladakh. Okay. So what is this return to roots thing? And by the way, this is on the border. This is on the border. LOC is not exactly border. What is called line of control in J&K and Ladakh, line of control. So, what it says is that under this program, an attempt would be made to integrate traditional knowledge with scientific understanding of scientific principles and all that. So science plus traditional healing methods, traditional culture, rituals and everything. So if you want to write, I can give you a simple sentence. Aims to integrate traditional knowledge with school science syllabus. Yes, with school science syllabus. This is a school project. Aims to combine or integrate traditional knowledge with school science syllabus. So the students could have an outlook, a scientific rational outlook through science projects and everything, science learning in the class. Plus they will also have exposure to traditional, traditional knowledge and everything, in the sense that traditional, what is called traditional knowledge system, TKS, like, rituals, traditions, what's there, through religion, what's the understanding of the world, all that stuff. Isn't it beautiful? And by the way, since there is a river here, this river is called Suru. So Kargil is located on the banks of the river Suru. This is the river Suru. Okay, to bring in the capital of Poland. Today we'll stick to capitals, not the leaders. Like Mateusz Morawiecki is the Prime Minister of Poland. Andrzej Duda is the president of this country. Zloty is a currency. I'm not going to discuss all that. I'm going to simply stick to basic stuff, like the capital is Warsaw. France, we know the president is Emmanuel Macron and the prime minister is Elizabeth Born, but the capital is Paris. Austria, the capital is Vienna, where the chancellor of the country, Karl Nehammer, sits. Germany, a while ago we mentioned that the capital is Berlin, from where the chancellor Olaf Scholz rules. Australia's capital is Canberra. Okay. Now let me clear this and I'll bring in something. I did not intend to this, my eyes fell on this term, High Commission. High Commission is equal to embassy. A High Commissioner is equal to an ambassador. High Commissioner is equal to ambassador. High Commission is embassy. These are terms used in the Commonwealth nations, among the Commonwealth nations. So one Commonwealth country, Australia is a Commonwealth country, India is a Commonwealth country, so their embassy is called High Commission and the ambassador is called High Commissioner. Just it, the names change. And this is peculiar to members of the Commonwealth group of nations, Commonwealth nations. Okay, only for Commonwealth countries. So we have a British High Commissioner to India, but we have an American ambassador to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed happiness over the installation of the Chhatrapati Shivaji statue in Mauritius. This is Mauritius, my friends. It's a very tiny country, tiny enough to have an area of around 2000 square kilometers. If I'm not wrong, it's 2040 square kilometers, but don't write 2040, write 2000. And the population is about 13 lakh. 13 lakh. These are all islands. Okay, 13 lakh. Now, one more thing you need to know is that Mauritius, why don't you write this? Mauritius, the capital is Port Louis. Then the Prime Minister is Pravind Jugnauth. Yeah, Pravind Jugnauth, Prime Minister. Jugnauth. You know why there is this Indian name there? The reason is very simple, my friends. The reason is that nearly 40 no, 67% of the country's population, 67% of the country's population is of Indian origin. About 200 years back, between 1810 and 1900, the British took hundreds of Indians to Mauritius to work as bonded labor. Because Mauritius in those days was the British colony. They took over this place and ran the affairs there, just pretty much like India they did. They did with India. So, these people settled there, and their descendants together today form the majority of the population of Mauritius. So 67% of the Mauritian population is of Indian origin, of which about Hindus make for 49%. Hindus make for 49%. Okay. Yeah, Hindus make for 49%. Let me clear this. This statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji is a 12-feet statue. 12-feet statue. This was funded in part by the government of Maharashtra. In fact, it was inaugurated by the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis. Okay, and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj became Chhatrapati, Chatri. Okay, Chhatrapati, umbrella. Means he was more or less a samrat. He had huge tracts of land, one of the greatest rulers of modern India. Chhatrapati Shivaji crowned himself. Maharaj Shivaji crowned himself Chhatrapati in 1674, and 6 years later he passed away. Yeah, he was an extraordinary man who gave nightmares to Aurangzeb in the Deccan here. This area. This was where Aurangzeb had ruled for a long time. He was here for the last 25 years of his life. Aurangzeb came to power in 1658 and he died in 1707. And you could say Maharaj Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji, was a thorn in the side of Aurangzeb. But he troubled Aurangzeb like no one else did. There are a lot of stories about Maharaj Shivaji's, Chhatrapati Shivaji's exploits, but then some other day we could discuss them. Okay. Sri Lanka. This is Sri Lanka. You can see there's an island here. Okay. And you must be wondering, here next to Sri Lanka there is something called Cape Comorin. What is a cape? Cape is, since you would know normally about these countries, just tell me. It's a headland. What is it? Headland into the sea. Or simply normal bhasha mein, projection of land into sea. Projection of land into sea. Into the sea. So there is this land here. This is called Cape. This is all land. What? Sea. Okay. Land. So this is called Cape. It could be small, it could be big, but some kind of a thing that juts out into the sea. Okay, that's a cape. What's a bay? You see this bay here? A bay is a water body surrounded by land on three sides. So bay, water body surrounded by land on three sides. Surrounded by land on three sides. This is sea. This is how the Bay of Bengal is surrounded. If you look at peninsula, it's a land body surrounded by water on three sides. Okay. One more thing. You see this narrow channel of water? Okay. This is called a strait. What is it called? Strait. In fact, you see this Strait of Malacca, this one. Okay. A strait. What is a strait? A narrow channel of water that separates two land bodies. to separate, that separates two land bodies. So we got pretty good knowledge of geography now. A strait is a narrow channel of water that separates two land bodies. So if you look at the narrow channel of water between India and Sri Lanka, it's called Park Strait. What is it called? Park Strait. This is Maldives. The capital is Male. The world's lowest country. That is, it's this country that has the highest point in the world. The highest point is about 5.1 meters. 15 feet is the highest point in this country. That's it. 15 feet above sea level. So this is a country that's deeply troubled by rising sea levels. Okay. Egypt, this is Egypt. Cairo is the capital. It's also called the gift of the Nile. Nigeria, there is this country here, Nigeria, where the capital is Abuja. Right? Abuja. It's Africa's most populous country. In fact, it's the 6th most populous country in the world. 6th. Its population is 23 crore. Which are the 5 most populous countries in the world? One, we have, what is that? We have India. Let's now say India, 143 crore. 2, China, 141 crore. 3, United States, about 34 crore. 4, we have Indonesia. This is Indonesia. That's about 26 crore. Okay. 5, Pakistan, which is like 24 crores. 6 is Nigeria. 7th is Brazil. So plenty of stuff to learn, my friends. The 15th edition of the International Apparel and Textile Fair was held in Dubai. This is Dubai. You can see this is Dubai. Okay. In the previous session, I told you who rules Dubai, who rules Abu Dhabi and all that. This is Sharjah. You see this stretch of land? It's owned by Oman. So Doha is here. It's the capital of Qatar. Riyadh is the capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Muscat, capital of Oman. Dubai is the second biggest city in the United Arab Emirates. Santiago Penua is a Spanish name. So Santiago, not Santiago, but you can say Santiago. Santiago Pena is the new president of Paraguay. It's all Spanish. All these countries were ruled by Spain. Wherever my pen is going, they are all ruled by Spain. Okay. This was ruled by Portugal. France. This is France. Britain. These two more or less Britain. Okay. Now, let me clear this. You look at Paraguay here. This is one of the only 2 landlocked countries in South America. These 2 countries, Bolivia and Paraguay, don't have access to the sea. Paraguay's capital is Asuncion. This is a new president. He succeeded a guy called Benito's. No, what is his name here? Mario Benitez. Mario Benitez. He's the outgoing president. And Pena is a new guy coming into the office. That's capital, Asuncion. And the currency of Paraguay is Guarani. I didn't want to discuss all these things, but chalo, koi baat nahi. Guarani. Now, if this guy were the president of Chile, it would have been easy, to remember. Why? The capital of Chile is Santiago. The president is Santiago. The president would have been Santiago. So Santiago lives in Santiago. I know it's a bad joke, but then easy to remember. This is Colombia, the only country in the world named after Christopher Columbus. The president is Gustavo Petro. Because the capitals are mentioned in this map, I am just taking you to some other places. Gustavo Petro is the president. Okay. Chile, Gabriel Boric. Gabriel Boric. Uruguay, this is Uruguay, and Uruguay's president is Louis Lacalle Pou. Louis Lacalle Pou. Venezuela, this is Venezuela. It's a Spanish name meaning Little Venice. The president is a dictator named Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro. Okay. As on 3rd May 2023, the Reserve Bank of India's total gold reserves reached a new high to around 800 tons. It was about 6 months back, it was 754 tons, now it's 800 tons. So we have the 9th largest reserves of gold in the world, 9th largest. Which country? I can give you top 3. 1, United States, 8133 tons, exact number. I remember it very easily, yeah, because of some reason. Germany, that's about 3000, yeah. I'm giving you a round figure. Okay, let's put ditto marks. 3, Italy. Again, I'm giving you, it is 2452. Maybe let's make it 2450. Okay, so China would have about 1948. Remember 1949, because that's the year China became a communist country. That's how I remember. Okay, 1949, China, it became a communist country. So 1949 tons of gold is what China has in reserves. Okay. A lot of banks are accumulating gold to hedge against inflation. See, the value of currency, the value of money goes down when prices go up. Your money buys less as prices increase. So this purchasing power of money decreases. The best hedge against inflation is gold. The value of gold almost never decreases. In fact, if there is inflation, the value of gold will only increase. You see, the value of gold has increased by almost 20% in the last 1 year. The price of gold has gone up by almost 20% in the last 1 year. And that's because more and more individuals, more and more central banks are hoarding gold, buying gold and keeping it as, as a risk tool. If tomorrow something goes bad, this could be used to sell stuff. It could be sold off and generated, cash could be generated. After cash, the highest liquidity is enjoyed by gold. It's as good as paisa, hard cash. Name the 7th edition of the joint military exercise between India and the United Kingdom that is being conducted at the Salisbury Plains in the UK sometime in the last week of April to the second week of May. Ajaya Warrior. What about these here? Sampriti exercises, no? Mitra Shakti Ajib. Vajra Prahar. Vajra Prahar is United States. Maitri, Thailand. Mitra Shakti, Sri Lanka. Sampriti, Bangladesh. These are the countries with which we have military exercises, and these are the names of military, those exercises. Which country is the largest recipient of the Asian Development Bank funded programs projects in 2022? It's Pakistan, my friends. This is Pakistan. How big is Pakistan? Usually we don't discuss these things, so today I'll bring in only Pakistan. Okay, I'm not going to discuss the questions, choices here. Pakistan's area is about 7.96 lakh square kilometers. This is the area of Pakistan. Now, a lot of people will tell you this is not the area. It's 8.81. 8.81. Why would they say that? That 8.81 would include areas occupied by Pakistan in J&K and Ladakh. You understand that? But we are not discussing. These are our territories. So look at the map. In almost all maps around the world, you would find that the POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir here, this stretch. Okay, this one is POK, and this is all Ladakh, POL, Pakistan occupied Ladakh. So this thicker one, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, JNK, Pakistan occupied JNK, and this is Pakistan occupied Ladakh. So in our map, basically, we found that we have shown that, you know, this is all Indian territory. This is all Indian territory, and this is Pakistan. The colored one is Pakistan. So Pakistan's area is 7.96 lakh square kilometers. Its population is about 24 crores. That makes it the fifth biggest in the world, fifth most populous country. Its economy is in sewage. Okay, is in a sewer basically. Its GDP last year was $376 billion. It contracted. GDP growth was -3%. -3% means it produced less in 2022 than what it produced in 2021. So that's what it means. The GDP went down by total economic output went down last year. What is the inflation rate? As of I was checking out Dawn.com, which is the Pakistani newspaper, DAWN. Every day I read Pakistani newspapers, two newspapers. One is Dawn, the other is the Tribune, the Pakistan Tribune. I found that the inflation rate currently is 35%, means year on year growth. The prices have gone up by 35% on a general level, which also means that the purchasing power of your paisa, the Pakistani rupee, has gone down by 35%. Yeah. Oh, it's in a really, really bad shape. Okay. So, I guess that should be it. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to tell you a few things about Pakistan. That's about it. This is the biggest province of Pakistan, Balochistan. It's the most neglected also. The most powerful province in Pakistan is Punjab. This is Punjab. Extremely powerful. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is where you will find, a lot of tribal badlands. Oh, this is a place where the writ of the Pakistani government doesn't run. Whatever the Pakistan government decides here is subject to approval by the tribes that live here. There is a region here called Swat. Okay, Swat. Swat Valley is home to the people of Swat Valley are called Swati. What are they called? Swati. Okay. The capital, as you know, is Islamabad. That's Islamabad here. It's a planned city. That's the capital. The Prime Minister is Shahbaz Sharif. Okay. You see this boundary line between this is Afghanistan. The boundary line between Pakistan and Afghanistan is called Durand Line. What is it called? Durand Line. Pakistan accepts this boundary line. Afghanistan does not accept. Afghanistan says, hey Pakistan, you have taken, this part of Pakistan is owned by us. They in fact claim Quetta also. They said these are all ours, but Pakistan has occupied those areas. So, okay. Debadatta Chand has been appointed the managing director and chief executive officer of the Bank of Baroda. The Bank of Baroda. Bank of Baroda here. What about State Bank of India? State Bank of India's chairperson is Dinesh Khara. This is just a revision for us, most of us rather. Canara Bank, K. Satyanarayana Raju. K. Satyanarayana Raju. Bank of India. Rajesh Karnatak, or what is it? Not Rajesh. Ex-CEO of State Bank was Rajneesh Rajneesh Karnatak, the same name, Rajneesh Karnatak. And Bank of Maharashtra, A.S. Rajiv. A.S. Rajiv. Okay, there we go, guys. Who among the following persons has authored the book Collective Spirit, Concrete Action that documents Pradhan Mantri Modi's Man Ki Baat program? Shashi Shekhar Vempati, who is the ex-CEO of Prasar Bharati, which owns, see, Prasar Bharati owns Doordarshan and All India Radio. Okay. Now, the Man Ki Baat program was started in October 2014. Recently, it completed 100 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. This has helped the Prime Minister reach, different parts of the, sections of the society in different parts of the country, and it is broadcast in 11 international languages, and 22 scheduled languages, all 22 in the scheduled in the 8th schedule. The Constitution of India has 12 schedules. A schedule is a kind of a chapter. In the 8th schedule, there is a list of 22 scheduled languages. This Man Ki Baat has been telecast in 22 scheduled languages as well. Not telecast, broadcast actually. It's a radio program. Okay. From which year will India start participating in the International Civil Aviation Organization's Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation and Long-Term Aspirational Goals? See, the long-term aspirational goal is to be net zero. So to make sure that there is not enough carbon emission and things cool down basically. But that would mean that better engines, better engine technology, better clean technology. It's all expensive also. I'll tell you about ICAO. This is a UN body, and this is headquartered in Montreal. What is it? Montreal, Canada. Montreal, Canada. And second thing is it's headed by the Secretary General Juan Carlos Salazar Gomez. He belongs to the country of Colombia. Christopher Columbus gave his name to Colombia. Okay. That's about it. Nothing more, not much to learn about. Which institution released a report called Future of Jobs Report? I went through this report. I can tell you it makes for a scary reading. Not exactly scary, but yeah, it tells us a lot that's going wrong and what could be done right by people to stay relevant in the tight job market that we have today. So I'm not going to discuss these organizations because we already know, except for World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum was started in 1971 by a man called Klaus Schwab, who also happens to be, even today, Schwab. Okay. He also happens to be the chairperson of this, and it's headquartered, WEF is headquartered in Colony, Switzerland. So I'm going to talk about this particular thing. You look at this. This is an extract from the report. In fact, I have two more extracts. So see, when I tell you that I have read this, actually I have read this. Yeah, it took me about a few. It took me quite a while to read the report, but I thought a few things you should read, my friends. You should know. I'll read this for you. While tight labor markets are prevalent in high income countries, tight labor market means labor shortages there in high income countries, low and lower middle income countries like India continue to see higher unemployment than before the COVID-19 pandemic. On an individual level, labor market outcomes are also diverging as workers with only basic education and women face lower employment levels. At the same time, real wages, the purchasing power of paisa, are also declining as a result of an ongoing cost of living crisis, that is inflation, and changing worker expectations and concerns about the quality of work are becoming more prominent issues globally. So there are a lot of things. One, rich countries don't have much of a unemployment problem. There, in fact, America, while the economy is going down, a lot of sectors are going down. There are mass layoffs, yeah, by huge, technology companies. There is a banking crisis. Yet unemployment in America is actually going down. Okay, that's not the case with other parts of the world. Now, especially in countries that are vulnerable, that are poor, desperately poor, they are not doing well. That's because most people lack skill. This kind of skill that would help them get a job. Now, what kinds of skills? Not only do there is low skill unemployment, there is another added problem here. Inflation. Inflation means higher prices. See, if I am unemployed and I don't, and there is high prices in the market, there are high prices in the market. One, I don't have money to buy whatever is relevant. Two, I have to buy, spend more. So that is a double whammy. Misery goes up, troubles go up because of one, unemployment, two, inflation. Now, look at this particular thing. The fastest growing roles relative to their size today are driven by technology, digitalization, and sustainability. So, environmental consciousness, technology, and improved use of technology through digitalization. These are where jobs are. That is why we need to be learning, my friends. We need to be preparing for the future. Okay. The majority of the fastest growing roles are technology related roles. See, artificial intelligence and machine learning specialists top the list of fast growing jobs, followed by sustainability specialists, environmental consciousness, business intelligence analysts, and information security analysts, cyber stuff. Renewable energy engineers and solar energy installations and system engineers are relatively fast growing roles as economies shift towards renewable energy. You got it? So more and more countries are investing in cleaner technologies, which would mean that they would require people who work in those sectors. People need to have skills to be able to work there, to get those jobs. And how do they see? One, learning, upgrading one's skill set by working hard, by being open. Okay, I don't know, no problem. I can work hard. I can learn. That ability, that kind of attitude should be there. Okay, at the same time, you should be determined. You should not give up. Things are tough. They are always tough. In fact, they generally are tough. Okay, this may seem to be very difficult, but as you get comfortable, things will get easier. Things will get easier. If not easier, things will get a little more comfortable. And analytical thinking and creative thinking remain the most important skills. Unfortunately, because we in India have a system where a lot of emphasis is on marks rather than learning, rather than knowledge, we are not even taught to think on our own. So analytical thinking is gone, is out the window. Creative thinking is nowhere there, basically. So I guess, guys, you should read extensively. Push yourself very hard in life. See, if I'm able to these are general knowledge things. They call for a lot of understanding. I am not great at all these things. What do? I work harder. So if we work harder, things will work for us. Which countries are in talks with India to make affordable generic medicines, that is patent-free medicines, more or less commonsensically, available to their citizens through a scheme similar to the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana? This is a fabulous scheme. In fact, I went with my friend to one of these stores, and there was one particular medicine that normally would cost 1100 rupees in one store, in a medical store. Here I got the same stuff, you wouldn't believe, for 450 rupees. This happened just yesterday. 1100 rupee MRP cost 450 rupees in this store. So I mean, there are massive change differences, and these have become affordable. These have become affordable. But you know, where are these countries? Ecuador, Nigeria, and Panama. Nigeria, we mentioned, is in Africa. Ecuador is and Panama. I think I'll take you back to this map. Do we have a map? Yeah. We have. This is Panama. This country between, sorry. Yeah, this one. This is Panama. Between this and this is a Panama Canal here. Okay. This is all Panama. This is Panama. It connects North America with South America. Okay. Now, Panama's capital is Panama City. The funny thing is this. What is it? And yeah, one more thing. Ecuador. This is Ecuador. It's the only country in the world named after equator. See, this is the equator. Okay. Let me take you here. Alright. Alright. Yeah, it's going everywhere except where it should be going. Panama City. Okay, that's the capital. And the president is Laurentino Cortijo. And the currency, there are two currencies it accepts. One is Balboa, its own currency, and the second is US dollar, United States dollar, USD. Ecuador, its capital is Quito. What is it? Quito. And its president is a guy called Guillermo Lasso. And the funny thing is, it also accepts US dollar. That's the only currency in this country, United States dollar. Okay. Nigeria, it has got a new president who will come to office soon. Bola Tinubu. And the president, he would use this currency called Naira. What is it? Naira. That's a currency. Naira. Capital, as we mentioned a while ago, Abuja. Which group or institution has begun work to assess the business and investment climate in up to 180 countries under this flagship Be Ready project, Business Ready. This is replacing the Doing Business report. So the World Bank would every year come out with Doing Business report. Now it says that we are not going to have that. We are going to replace that with Business Ready or Be Ready project. So this is what they are going to do. Okay. I'll tell you where are these located. Okay, since we know the World Bank and we know the International Development, I think we know only the World Bank, no? European Central Bank, headquartered Frankfurt, which is in Germany. And it's headed by Christine Lagarde, former MD of the IMF. Christine Lagarde of France. Asian Development Bank, Manila. It's headquartered in Manila, which is, as you know, the capital of Philippines. You can double check the spellings also. It's headed by a Japanese guy called Masatsugu Asakawa. Japan. Let me clear this. We'll bring in one more, just one more. New Development Bank. Head office in, Shanghai. Also called BRICS Bank. What is it? BRICS Bank. Headed by the president is Dilma Rousseff. You know, she's an ex-president of Brazil. Ex-president of Brazil. Dilma Rousseff. Asian infrastructure, World Bank, enough. Don't worry too much. Which ministry has launched the Vivad Se Vishwas One relief to micro, small, and medium enterprises scheme for providing relief to them for the COVID-19 period? Okay, Ministry of Finance. So a lot of these businesses didn't do well, so they were given waivers, tax waivers, and other stuff. So Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs ministries are both headed by Nirmala Sitharaman. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Dr. Virendra Kumar. Dr. Virendra Kumar. Dr. Virendra Kumar. Micro, small and medium enterprises, Narayan Tatu Rani. Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions. In fact, there is no central ministry for it. It comes directly under the Prime Minister of India. So it's run by a man called Dr. Jitendra Singh, who also happens to be the Minister of State for this particular departments. Dr. Jitendra Singh. He holds multiple portfolios. Anything that is not given to any particular guy, any minister, which comes to him. The entire Prime Minister's office, the Ministry of Science, he is the Minister of State for Science and Technology, for Earth Sciences, okay, for personal public grievances and pensions. So he is very powerful. Okay. In collaboration with the Niti Aayog, which institution has released a report titled Best Practices in Social Sector, a compendium for this year. Well, the United Nations Development Program. The UNDP, United Nations Development Program, is headquartered in New York City and it's headed by Achim Steiner. Achim Steiner. Achim Steiner of Brazil, Germany. He has a dual citizenship. Brazil, Germany. UNICEF we mentioned a while ago. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, is headquartered in Paris and it's headed by a French woman named Audrey Azoulay. Audrey Azoulay. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, headquartered in Geneva, and the guy is Filippo Grandi. Filippo Grandi. You will also find double P, no problem. He is from Italy. Filippo Grandi. United Nations Environment Program. Okay, let's bring it. Nairobi, United Nations Environment Program, headquartered in Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya, and it's headed by Inger Andersen of Denmark. Inger Andersen of Denmark. Which nation with India will co-host the first ASEAN India maritime exercise? This is Singapore. You see this? At the tip of the Malaysian peninsula, you'll find Singapore, this one. So what are the ASEAN countries? 1. Myanmar. 2. Thailand. 3. Cambodia. 4. Laos. 5. Vietnam. 6. Philippines. 7. It's not mentioned. It's mentioned here. Indonesia. These are all Indonesia. Okay. These two are Malaysia. 8. Malaysia. 9. There is this tiny country called Brunei. 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 10. Singapore. Okay. So you could write ASEAN has 10 members. 10 members. 5 plus this 5. You can just write the names. Okay. Laos, Malaysia, Philippines plus what's mentioned? Vietnam is missing. Vietnam plus Laos. Yeah. Fair. All of Laos is mentioned twice. Something is missing. What is missing? Myanmar is mentioned here. Thailand is mentioned here. Cambodia is mentioned. Laos is mentioned here. Vietnam is mentioned here. Philippines. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Brunei. Brunei. Okay. Yeah. So these 10 countries and India are going to have a joint maritime exercise. These are the 10 countries. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago. What is an archipelago? A group of islands. It has more than 17,000 islands, my friends. More than 17,000 islands. Who in the following is the winner of the 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix? This is Azerbaijan. This is a country. This is the capital, Baku. Is it? Baku. These are all Soviet Union. These are all part of Soviet Union. Armenia is the world's oldest Christian country. This country, Armenia, is the world's oldest Christian country. Anyway, it was won by Sergio Perez, Mexico. He belongs to Mexico. And he drives for Red Bull Racing. Red Bull Racing. You know what? He was a driver for Force India, Kingfisher, and not Kingfisher, Vijay Mallya and Subrata Roy of Sahara Parivar at different times won this, owned this team, Force India. So Sergio Perez, Mexico, Red Bull races for Red Bull Racing. Max Verstappen, Netherlands, same Red Bull Racing. He was number 2. Number 1. Number 3. Charles Leclerc. He belonged to this Monaco. He belongs to Monaco. And he drives for Ferrari. Right? Ferrari. Okay. See, Azerbaijan's president, I didn't want to mention this, but anyway, chalo koi baat nahi. Ilham Aliyev. Somewhere I have this. Let's talk this kind of thing. Okay. Ilham Aliyev. World Press Freedom Day is observed on Dash every year to emphasize the value of press freedom and difficulties the journalists encounter in the work around the world. May 3rd. This is May 1st and International Labour Day. May 7th, World Athletics Day. What is this? May 8th. There is something about May 8th here. This is International. Yeah, World Red Cross Day. World Red Cross Day. This day. May 11th, National Technology Day. See, on this day in 1998, India tested 3 nuclear bombs in Pokhran. Those were India's second nuclear test. The first nuclear test in India happened on 18th May 1974. Second, 11th May 1998. Third nuclear test, 13th May, 2 days later, 1998. Okay, see, extra stuff there. Who of the following persons were announced the winners of the 2023 UNESCO Guillermo Cano World Press Freedom Prize? All 3 of these. And they all belong to Iran. Iranians. They focused a lot on, they broke the stories on the killing of a 25-year-old girl called Amin. Mahsa Amini. She was a Kurdish 25, 26-year-old Kurdish woman who was first detained and tortured for not wearing her hijab properly, the headscarf properly. They said that she was detained for showing her hair. This the ladies here, they are showing their hair here. Yeah, this one. Hair cannot be shown, cannot be seen by strangers. That's what the Iranian government's decree is. But inadvertently, she had come to visit Tehran to visit her friends. She had come to visit her friends, and unfortunately, she was detained. And 3 days later, her dead body was released. All for what? Yeah, crazy. And these three brave women broke her story and wrote a lot about the atrocities of the government, the moral policing, and the religious hardliners. And unfortunately, these three women are in jail for writing. Yeah. As per the National Manufacturing Innovation Survey 2021-22, which state is the most innovative state in manufacturing? Well, Karnataka. Yeah. Number 1 is Karnataka, number 2 is Telangana, number 3 is Tamil Nadu. Okay, the top three. Top three. And among union territories, these are among states. Okay, union territories, the best is Dadra, Nagar, Haveli, Daman and Diu. Dadra, Nagar, Haveli, Daman and Diu. I think that should be it. Okay. Thank you. That's all from me, Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious. Thank you for being here. Thank you.